Hi everyone, it's Kate. It's called Mac and Me, so, you know, terrifying. Terrifying title, terrifying characters, terrifying story. It's actually, like, kind of amazing. Even though it was, like, McDonald's promo, I was like, it's still awesome. Without me hyping it up too much, I have to stay unbiased. Let's get into it. Our main character, other than our little alien friend, is Eric. Eric is in a wheelchair. He can't walk. That is important. I'm not just like saying that because it's whatever, but it is like a semi-big deal. And it's kind of nice to have a representation of someone in a wheelchair in a movie, especially from the 80s. But at the same time, is this the best representation? Spoiler alert, no. They throw him off a cliff. There are a few other main characters. His older brother, named Michael, and then their neighbors, Courtney and Debbie, and they're the ages of the two other boys. They're semi-important, but it's mainly just like, oh, they're a group and they have to help save the alien. Let's get into the movie because I'm so excited to talk about this. So we start out with a couple different aliens. There are 4 aliens. So there are 2 kids and then 2 adults. A rover comes to their planet and they get sucked up into the rover, which I don't know how the physics work. They kind of have like no bones apparently, because like they're like completely smushed up and then they're like fine 10 seconds later. This happens multiple times throughout where like the alien is like squished into a tiny tube. They go back to Earth, they escape the little rover, and they escape the facility because they have like a power where they can like electrocute stuff sort of. It comes in later. It's not really like that important. It's just like you can touch something that doesn't have a battery in it and it will go like it already has the battery in it. Mac, the little alien, gets into the car with our main characters because they're moving to California. His family runs into the desert, but he hides into a car. So he stays in the car, hidden completely. Whenever they get to their new house is very nice. It's also by a cliff. And Eric notices that his toy car, he took out the battery, but it started going on its own. Obviously, Mac had touched it and made it go on. But Eric does not see Mac. And for a long time, no one sees him, which is kind of crazy because he's like a 2-foot freak. How could you not see him making a mess of your entire house? How could you not see him? Like, there's a scene where he's standing at the glass door with his hands on it, like a little like raccoon. Let me in, please. We still don't see him. Like, there's no peripheral vision on these people. Like, it's like complete blindness. Like, they have horse blinders on. It's like, dog, you're not in our race. You can look around. House is trashed. Their mom blames the kids, which is sort of surprising because, one, Eric is in a wheelchair. He couldn't like bring stuff from outside into the house, I feel like, unless like he had help, because it's like, obviously people in wheelchairs are not like completely helpless, but it's like, this is like a little kid. And also, how could he lift all these things? How could he take all this stuff and move it around and mess it around? Like, stuff that was on the walls, how could he move that? And then also, Michael, the older kid, like, why would he do that? Like, this doesn't make sense. She's like, oh, you guys, oh my gosh, you guys fucking trashed the house. You guys are so annoying. I don't even want to talk to you guys. And it's like, girl, if both your kids are saying they didn't do it, maybe believe them. Maybe believe them. Eric sees the little alien, like, outside and follows him outside, and then he like oh my gosh, so he's like wheeling to like try to find him, and it's like, because it's like near LA, so it's like it's naturey. And then he stumbles because he's in a wheelchair, so we can't really like stop that well. He rolls down like a hill-ish area and falls off a cliff face, like completely falls off a cliff face. And the scene is so funny because it's like a zoom out of him being like, ah. Obviously, I don't think someone falling off a cliff is funny, but they made it funny for some reason. He falls into the water and surprisingly does not die. Surprisingly has no injuries, which is insane. And Mac is right like next to the pool of water. So it's like, did Mac lure him down here? Like, was this his plan all along? It's not. But I was thinking that, I was like, oh my gosh, this little alien is trying to kill him. But luckily, no. Mac does help Eric get out of the water, and then Eric like looks up and sees his mom at like the cliff face, and he's like, did you see him? Did you see him? And she's like, what are you talking about? Are you okay? It's very funny because he's like not even concerned about his own health. He's like, did you guys see that little alien thing? Did you see that little creature? And everyone's like, no, man, you're insane. But then he's like determined to catch Mac because he's like, he's gonna come back to our house because he was already here, you know what I'm saying? So they set out Coca-Cola cans. So they finally catch him and they try to suck him up in a vacuum cleaner, but Debbie has the vacuum cleaner strapped to her back and she starts flying around the house It literally is like whenever someone's like in the water and they have like those like weird propeller things that make them fly. It was like that. I did think this scene was semi-silly because like she's like flying and then there's like so much wind, like because the brother Michael comes out and is like, what's happening? And he's like, oh, it's so funny. I did actually really enjoy this scene. It was quite silly. But then they turn off the vacuum cleaner and they realize that they have Mac in the vacuum cleaner. So obviously they take him out, they give him soda, and oh my gosh, I hate the lips on this little guy. It's so gross. Like it looks like a puffer fish mouth. I really hated it, and it's like, dog, give him like give him color on his lips. Like it looked so gross. More stuff happens, like they kind of bond. He's like trying to tell him, obviously Matt can't speak English because he's not even from this planet. He is like trying to tell them like what he wants to do, but like they're like, I don't know. So like they had newspaper clippings and he kind of like put stuff together. They're like, we don't know what this is, but if we see it, we'll send you there. It's mainly just being like, Mac likes Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. If aliens like it, you should too. We also find out that there are a couple FBI agents tracking this house because they, for some reason, know that the alien is here. And they're spying on the residents. They're just kind of like sitting outside in their car being like, They put Mac in like a teddy bear costume. So it's like, I think they took his teddy bear and like unstuffed it and then cut out little eye holes for Mac. And it looks so insane because like the eye holes are way too big. So it's just like you see Mac's eyes and his eyelids. Eric and Debbie are just like, oh yeah, but he's like a toy so he can like move. It's like an automatic like with like whatever. And everyone's just like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's like, I get that if like his like arms or something move, but he's like dancing on tables and like jumping around like, dog, this is no toy. Like, and it's obviously just a little kid in a costume, but it was quite silly because they go to McDonald's for a birthday party. There are like so many people and everyone's dancing. Like, what is happening? It feels like a musical almost. I was like, is this like a High School Musical like tossed out song? Because they're all like dancing and jumping and like all this stuff. I'm like, whoa, this is a McDonald's. You guys, stop it. The FBI agents follow them to the McDonald's. So Debbie's older sister, Eric, and Eric's older brother, Michael, all like protect the little Mac, and they quickly take him out and like wheel him out because he's on Eric's lap. And they take him out to like the car. So all four of them, well, I guess all five, including Mac, he doesn't talk, so he's more of like an accessory. No. Okay, we gotta get away from these FBI agents because there are like a ton of FBI agents. So they're all driving away to try to save Mac, and then Mac starts being like, over there. Well, he's just like kind of like pointing because he can't talk. But he points to like a random turn in the desert, so they go there. They are like, okay, we stop in front of a mine shaft. What now? Michael grabs Mac and they walk into the mine shaft and they find the three other aliens. So his mom and dad and sibling. And they're like sort of dying because they don't have Coca-Cola. And then they're, oh my gosh. So he runs back out and he's like, guys, get the Coca-Cola. We need to get the Coca-Cola. So they go out and they give them some of the Coca-Cola, but they don't have enough. So like, okay, we got to go to the store and get Coca-Cola. So they all pile into the car. And while they're in the car, the adults are like being super like whiny and fussy because they don't want to be in the car. And then Debbie is like trying to calm them down and is like doing stuff, being like, okay guys, you have to stop. Simon says do this, Simon says do this, to try to distract him. And it went on for so long and it felt like the director was just like, okay, just improv stuff you can do with the aliens.
Simon says.
All right, Simon says, yeah.
Put your hands on your head.
All right.
Hands on your head.
Simon says, wiggle your ears, wiggle your ears, wiggle your ears, wiggle your ears.
Then they go to the store and the aliens all walk into the store, and for some reason no one is panicked. They're just like, call the store manager. And they call the store manager, and then he walks over, and then one of them like knocks over a case of like one of the displays, sort of, and then the guy's like, you have to stop. And then the other ones are like, guys, he doesn't understand you, like, he's sorry. Like the kids walk in and start saying this stuff, but it's like, I would be terrified if like a 6-foot alien walked into a store and was just like there. Like, oh my gosh, everyone is so chill. Until they knock stuff over, and then the security guard is pointing a gun at one of them. And then the alien, like the alien dad, just grabs the gun from him, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, this is so ridiculous. First of all, like, do you even know how to like handle that thing? Because this alien just like took it straight from your hands. And also, like, maybe don't shoot an alien. Like, what if there are like a million other aliens that are gonna come and kill you and kill all of us because you tried to shoot him? They try to escape, but the convenience store blows up. full on blows up. And I was like, what is happening? And Eric like rolls his way over there. He dies. Eric dies because he was close to the blast radius. And like, it's so funny because like he wasn't even that close. He was just kind of standing in front of it. So if anything, he'd just like be really warm because of the explosion. But then they lay him down and like, oh my gosh, he's dead. His mom comes in and it's like, oh no, my son, my boy, this is so sad. I'm making it very trivialized, but it is sad if your kid blew up. The aliens come and heal him, so he's fine. He's chill. And because of that, they're like national heroes, so they get sworn in as US citizens. I don't know why they were sworn in as US citizens, and also why they couldn't try to get them back to their own planet, but they stay, and they learn how to drive, and they wear suits and stuff. Crazy ending to a movie. I was like, oh. I have a few gripes with the lore, because it's like, so if Coca-Cola is what sustains them, does that mean that the inside of their planet is Coca-Cola? And if so, did we mine their Coca-Cola from their planet and bottle it and sell it here? Or did we just find the same recipe for some reason? Like, did we like figure out the minerals and the compounds that are made in that and we happen to have the same ones on our planet and we made it? Or is it just a complete coincidence? Because if it's a coincidence, then that's an insane coincidence that we happen to go to a planet, we happen to set up these aliens, and they happen to be able to survive on Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? I think that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like and comment and subscribe, because if you don't, aliens are gonna come and steal your favorite food. And they are also going to take all your clothes and take your job and crash your car. So, don't want that. Okay, that's it. Bye.